Hi everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at how to assemble the new Churchill tank from Battlefront Miniatures. To start with, we'll begin by assembling the hull. First thing, we're going to glue the left and right tracks onto the hull. You'll notice that there are 3 locator points on the inside of the left-hand track. These correspond to the 3 plugs on the lower hull piece. We'll start by putting a drop of glue on each one of these locator plugs. Make sure you give it a moment to set, as the plastic glue forms a bond pretty quickly, although you can't afford to be too rough while you're doing this. Turn the hull round, do the same thing to the right hand side. You notice this side has only 2 locator plugs to make sure that you don't accidentally glue the tracks on the wrong way. Next up, we'll attach the rear hull plate to the back of the model. You notice on the rear hull plate there are a couple of locator pins that'll help you get a nice positive connection. Once the tracks and rear hull plate are glued on, we'll attach the top hull. We'll just run a bead of glue down the inside of the lower hull and along the back hull piece. Then attach the top hull. The top hull piece has quite a snug fit, so make sure once you've got it in place to hold it for a few seconds to allow the plastic glue to completely bond. With the upper hull attached, we'll now put the mudguards on. These are optional, you can leave them off if you like. You'll notice that on each of them there is a locator to help you attach them to the existing top hull piece. Next, we'll attach the fuel tank to the rear hull piece. You'll notice that there is a small cutout in the fuel tank that matches up with the box that's on the back of the hull. The final step in assembling the hull is attaching the hatches to the sides of the tracks. You'll notice that these hatches are keyed and can only go on one side of the hull. The hull of the Churchill tank is now complete, with the exception of the front hull pieces. In the kit there are two different options. One mounts a 3-inch howitzer for the Churchill CS, the other has a machine gun. We'll start by assembling the 3-inch howitzer version. Take the front hull piece that has the hole in it for mounting the 3-inch howitzer. Add a drop of glue and insert the howitzer barrel. For the purposes of this one, I won't glue it in, as I'll be building a Churchill III 6-pounder. Now the other option you've got has a machine gun. This is for the 6-pounder version. Run a line of glue across the front plate and then slide the piece into place. There we have it, our hull is complete. Next up, we'll assemble the Churchill CS turret. We'll begin by running a bead of glue on the inside of the turret. And then attaching the bottom of the turret. Next we'll attach the mantlet piece. If you see here, you'll notice that there are a couple of bumps on the top of it that match up to the bumps on the top of the turret top. That'll help you make sure that you're gluing it on the right way. Once the mantlet's glued on, you can now attach the stowage bins. There are two stowage bins that you need to attach, one on the right hand side and one on the rear. There is a rim that will help you to attach these bins. If you run a seam of glue on there, the bins will nicely fit into place. To ensure that you've mounted the bins on correctly, just have a look on the top and you'll see the hinge points. With the mantlet and bins now attached, we'll add the 2-pounder gun. If you take a close look at the barrel, you'll notice that one end has a small muzzle brake. Obviously you want to glue the other end into your mantlet. Put a drop of glue inside the mantlet and insert the 2-pounder gun. Next we'll want to install the hatch. You've got two options to choose from, either the open or closed version. Today I'm going to glue in the closed version. Whilst gluing in the hatches, make sure that the hatches are opening forward and aft, or front and back, not side to side. Last but not least, attach the turret pin, or magnets if you choose. There we have it, our CS turret is complete. Next we'll assemble the Churchill III 6-pounder turret. Once again, we're going to glue the turret top and bottom together by running a seam of glue on the turret interior. The turret bottom will just nicely sit in place inside it. Next we'll glue the mantlet into place. The mantlet will only glue on one way, but make sure you dry fit it before actually gluing it on. Now we'll glue on the stowage bin. Just like the Churchill CS, there's a nice rim that you can use to locate the turret bin. Also check to make sure once again that your hinges are pointing up. Now we'll glue in the gun. If you take a close look at the interior of the mantlet and the end of the gun, you'll notice a small locating pin and hole. This will help you make sure that you get the gun in correctly. If in doubt, make sure that the machine gun is on the left hand side of the barrel, assuming you were sitting inside the turret itself. Next we'll glue in the commander's hatch. Just like the Churchill CS, you want to make sure that this is opening front and back. Again, I'll be gluing in the closed hatch version today. Lastly, I'll put in the turret pin. And there we have it, a completed Churchill III 6-pounder tank. Hope you enjoy building yours.